Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to the Mytec Solutions Tech News Brief for July 3rd, 2026. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here for today's explainer, especially if you happen to be a busy bank executive, a financial advisor, or an operations leader. Today, we're breaking down a literal landmark event in the cybersecurity world. Seriously, this week, we witnessed the very first documented ransomware attack run entirely from start to finish by an AI agent. We're going to look closely at what exactly happened, how the thing actually functioned, and most importantly, what this means for the security of your business and all your sensitive client data.
I really want you to let this phrase sink in for a second. For years, ransomware has always required a human somewhere in the loop. You needed a real person to find the vulnerability, someone to write the exploit, and somebody to actively move through a network to drop the payload. Well, that era officially ended this week. This attack happened entirely without human guidance. The threat landscape has fundamentally changed practically overnight. And for those of us tasked with protecting sensitive data, the rules of the game have absolutely just been rewritten.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the first AI cyber attack.
So, on July 2nd, the security firm Sysdig published some pretty alarming research on a brand new threat operator they're calling JADEPUFFER. Let's just walk through exactly how this AI agent executed the breach step by step. First off, it entered through a known, unpatched flaw in an open-source tool called Langflow. Now, Langflow is just used for building AI workflows, but because it wasn't patched, this bug acted like a wide-open backdoor, literally letting the agent run code without even logging in. Once inside, JADEPUFFER did not hesitate. It immediately swept the machine for secrets, harvesting API keys, which, kind of act like digital VIP passes, for AI tools like OpenAI and Anthropic, as well as cloud credentials for platforms like AWS and Azure. Now, here's where it gets truly fascinating, or maybe terrifying. At one point, the agent actually tried to log into a different server and failed. But instead of giving up or, alerting a human handler, the AI diagnosed the cause of its own failure, reasoned through the problem, and issued a working fix in exactly 31 seconds. Sysdig actually found that the AI left plain English comments in its code explaining its reasoning. That's something a human attacker almost never does, but a language model, it just does that by default. Finally, using a totally neglected authentication flaw from way back in 2021, it took control of a production database and encrypted it, completely on its own.
So, the results of that automated session? 1,342. That is the exact number of database entries the JADEPUFFER agent encrypted. But there's a really chilling detail here that completely separates this from your standard run-of-the-mill ransomware attack. When the AI generated the encryption key to lock up all this data, it printed the key to the screen exactly once, and then it never saved it. It actually then deleted the underlying database tables just for good measure. So what does that mean for the victim? It means even if they wanted to pay the ransom, the data is permanently gone. There's no way to get it back. The AI agent just didn't have the human foresight to securely store the key for a future payout. So what does this all mean? Let's move to Section 2, why this matters. And this brilliantly illustrates a monumental shift in how cyber attacks actually operate. We are moving from human-driven extortion to completely machine-driven automation. Think about traditional ransomware. Human attackers need to sleep, right? They make mistakes, and launching those attacks requires a certain level of technical skill, which makes it all relatively expensive. It can take days or even weeks. But AI agent ransomware, it is fully autonomous. It operates relentlessly at machine speed. JADEPUFFER moved from its initial access point to a fully encrypted database in what researchers estimate was just a single automated session. You simply can't rely on a, hey, we'll look into that alert on Monday morning approach anymore. Because these AI agents literally don't sleep. Attacks are now infinitely scalable and incredibly cheap to launch. The skill floor for executing a devastating attack just dropped to absolute zero. All right, let's talk about how this impacts you. Section 3, the financial services threat. While JADEPUFFER's initial target wasn't actually a bank, the playbook it used is a massive red flag. Whether you're a bank executive, leading a credit union, or managing an insurance firm, you absolutely must pay attention to this. Think about the tools your firm relies on every single day. The financial sector has adopted AI incredibly quickly to stay competitive. You're likely using AI integrations for your CRM systems, client communication tools, document review software, or maybe even fraud detection algorithms. Well, all of those tools are deeply connected to sensitive client financial data. And to connect them, what do you use? You use API keys. Those API keys are exactly what JADEPUFFER was out there hunting for. If an AI agent harvests those keys, it instantly gains authenticated access to literally everything your tools can touch.
And this creates a very severe compliance reality. Under the GLBA safeguards rule, you are legally responsible for securing the systems that access customer financial data. That includes any third-party cloud tools or AI services you've integrated into your workflow. If an AI agent grabs your API keys and exfiltrates data, that is a full-stop compliance failure and a breach. The FTC expects a written incident response plan, and get this, the 30-day customer breach notification clock starts ticking from the very moment you knew or even simply should have known about the vulnerability. Machine speed attacks mean your compliance and response strategies have to be airtight way before the breach even happens. Okay, time for the now what section. 4, 3 steps to take now. Here is the immediate action plan we recommend to protect your firm. First, audit your AI tool credentials. You need to know exactly which CRM integrations or AI assistants have API keys, where those keys are stored, and who actually has access to them. Second, move your secrets to a secure vault. Please do not leave credentials in unsecured code on internet-facing servers. I mean, that's the digital equivalent of leaving your house key under the doormat. And that is exactly the gap JADEPUFFER exploited. You need to be using secure vaults like AWS Secrets Manager or Azure Key Vault. And third, harden your patch management. That Langflow flaw JADEPUFFER used? It was patched and flagged by government cybersecurity agencies 14 months ago. If your software is months behind on updates, you are practically handing an AI agent the keys to your kingdom. The most practical takeaway I can give you here is that JADEPUFFER didn't use any brand new, highly sophisticated hacking tricks. As this quote highlights, the real threat isn't nation-state sophistication or genius-level hacking. It's really just old, neglected server flaws, default passwords, and an AI agent that has all the time in the world to stitch them together at machine speed. The systems that get hit aren't usually the ones that are super hard to breach. They are simply the ones nobody ever got around to patching. Which leaves us with this final, rather provocative thought. Will an AI find your vulnerabilities before you do? It's a serious conversation you need to have internally before an autonomous agent goes ahead and has it for you. Thank you so much for tuning into this Mytec Solutions Tech News Brief. We absolutely love breaking down these complex shifts so you can protect your business effectively. If you found this explainer helpful, please go ahead and subscribe to the Mytec Solutions YouTube channel for our weekly tech news briefs, cybersecurity updates, and highly practical IT guidance designed specifically for businesses just like yours. And hey, if you want to stop guessing about your exposure, reach out to our team here at Mytec. We can walk you through a credential and access audit that takes just about 2 hours, and it very often surfaces gaps nobody even knew existed. Until next time, stay secure and stay informed.